Maverick News presents The Rick Walker Show. Defrag your mind.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rick Walker. Welcome back to the Maverick News Channel. Hello, Maverick family. Welcome, new viewers from all over the world. Great to have everybody here. Not such a great day for Rudy Giuliani. Looks like he's facing, a $148 million fine penalty. We'll tell you about his court case. Israel says that they accidentally killed some of their own hostages. We'll definitely talk about that. And Canada. No wonder we don't recognize it anymore. We've been immersed in this culture war for a long time, and it just reached a whole new level with the renaming of Dundas Square in Toronto to something that a lot of people say isn't very Canadian at all. Sankofa Square. We'll tell you what it means. We'll also open the floor to discussion on that tonight through our call-in show, which will commence at the end of today's top news stories. So stay with me and we'll start the coverage on the other side of this.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Jingle bells. Trudeau smells. Biden laid an egg. Klaus Schwab's deal has no appeal. But tomorrow is a brand new day. Hey everyone. Have a merry Maverick Christmas. And a magnificent new year.
So I know the story about the renaming of Dundas Square in Toronto is something that will interest everyone tonight, but we're going to save that story for the end so that we can then go to the phones with that information fresh in everyone's minds, as you may want to comment on that later on this evening when we get to the call-in portion of the program. So let's begin with Rudy Giuliani, who has been fined. My goodness. It's a whole lot of money, about $148 million is what I understand. Here we are. So Of course, you know he's the former mayor of New York City, big friend of Donald Trump's, front and center in the news with the investigation that he conducted himself into Hunter Biden's business dealings. And he's been in the crosshairs of the Democrats and the deep state for a long time, really from the beginning of the Trump era, presidential era, that is, when Trump first came down that escalator, announcing that he was going to run for president. And ever since then, Rudy Giuliani has been at Trump's side and absolutely the target of lawfare. So this week, his trial was ongoing for, as the court puts it, defaming Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and Wandrea Shea Moss. This all related to the 2020 election. And Giuliani was acting on behalf of Donald Trump and apparently accused the mother and daughter of committing election fraud while counting ballots. They were election workers on election day in Georgia's Fulton County. Well, man, is Rudy Giuliani paying the price for those accusations now. U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell, back in August, awarded a default judgment to the two women, leaving this week's trial to determine exactly what the damages, the penalties to Giuliani will be. And now we're finding out Freeman and Moss were seeking between $15.5 million and an amount in the $40 million range. And they're getting a whole lot more than they asked for. So Ruby Freeman told reporters that today is a good day, she said, but cautioned that the money will never solve all of her problems. Saying that, Rudy Giuliani targeted her and her daughter with defamatory statements. Oh my goodness, get the smelling salts out. She says, I will always have to be careful about where I go and who I will be able to share my name with. She said of her need to remain anonymous due to the fear of threats. I don't know how much weight to give these statements. Is she receiving threats from people because of these accusations? I suppose it's possible. People are pretty emotional on both sides. Freeman went on and said today, a jury stood witness to what Rudy Giuliani did to me and my daughter, she said. For that, I am thankful. But she said, I want people to understand this. Money will never solve all of my problems. So Giuliani's lawyers say this is the equivalent of a financial death penalty for the Trump ally, lawyer, political activist, at one time considered to be America's mayor. When he was mayor of New York, of course, that's when 9/11 happened, and he was right there. At the time, the mainstream media portrayed him as being something of a hero for the nation, a real leader. But man, has he fallen from grace in the eyes of the legacy media. He says, obviously, that he will be moving for a new trial and will appeal today's decision on the penalty that he is being required to pay. He said he didn't testify because the judge made it clear that if he made any mistake or did anything wrong, she was considering contempt. So this is not over. This will go to appeal. And as heavy-handed as this is, it will drag on. Political, he's a politician. Political, he's a friend of Donald Trump's. Political, yeah, absolutely. 100% political. Let's take a quick break while I queue up our next stories. I will be right back after this.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarmingly, some media outlets publish these things simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
In an ocean of lies a century deep, the truth awaits. Choose not the red pill. Choose not the blue pill. For both are an illusion. Discover the power of M. The power of individuality. We are mavericks, we are the way to the light. Fear not the storm. Join our quest for truth. Truth will set you free. Maverick News. The world is watching.
I'm back, and where should we go from here? Matthew Perry, how about that? There was a lot of speculation surrounding Matthew Perry's death. And as has been the case with regard to many people passing away, especially especially a lot of celebrities when they don't immediately release the cause of death. What I've noticed is there is a rush to assume, there is a rush to report in a leading way without actual facts that these people dying probably died suddenly of the thing. I don't think that serves us well, because if you're not dealing with facts and you're leading people to make that assumption, it's a cousin of lying, okay? That's what that is. It's misleading. And I don't think it serves the public. I don't think it serves the cause of freedom. It certainly doesn't serve the cause of free speech. But I saw a lot of that going on with Matthew Perry. And now tonight, we know that Matthew Perry did not die from the thing here in the arm. He died from the acute effects of ketamine. The Friends star underwent an autopsy, and the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has now released the cause of death. He was found unresponsive in the pool of his residence back in October 28th, and was pronounced dead at the age of 54. Now, the medical examiner ruled that the manner of death was an accident, and then there was all kinds of speculation surrounding that. He, of course, played Chandler on the sitcom Friends and was receiving ketamine infusion therapy for depression and anxiety before his death. Variety reported that. And ketamine can be dangerous because some people use it. They tend to sometimes abuse it because it does have hallucinogenic effects if taken in, I guess, any quantity. I personally have never touched the stuff, so I can't speak from any kind of experience with it, but this is the information that's coming out tonight. So sharing that with you, and I know that many people took interest in that, understandably. But again, it underlines for me the need to wait for facts, not jump to conclusions, not rush to be the first to report a story, not to take information at face value when it comes across online. We need to be careful about these things, not only just to be factual, which is, of course, imperative, but also to be respectful of not only the deceased, but the next of kin, those that they leave behind, their families. So I just throw that out there tonight. It is a breaking story, and now you have the latest and the most accurate information. Now, that being said, there is speculation and concern about a rise in the number of, or I should say, not a rise, actually a decline in life expectancy in the United States. Dr. Pierre Corey and Laura Ingraham had a discussion about that on her show as she outlined and really exposed what the FDA is saying in the US about life expectancy. An alarming rise in cancer rates among people under 50, apparently. 158,000 more unexpected US deaths than during the same period in 2019. So that being said, Matthew Perry didn't die from the thing in the arm, but there is something going on out there. Not exactly sure what. Again, people are speculating about this stuff. Could be a variety of things. You know, when we went through the pandemic, for instance, as they locked people down, we know that a lot of people were not able to get proper care. They weren't able to get the tests done that they needed to get done. So those could be factors in the decline in life expectancy in the US. Let me just pull this up and we will share what Laura Ingraham sort of had to share with people in this regard. Here we go. Here's the clip with Laura Ingraham.
We are seeing what the FDA is describing as a catastrophic drop in life expectancy. What? We search for answers with Dr. Pierre Corey next. We've all noticed that there seems to be more tragic stories every day of young people, especially young men, dropping dead. And now the FDA is warning of a catastrophic drop in U.S. life expectancy. In the first 9 months of this year, 158,000 more Americans died unexpectedly than in all of 2019. Now, just to give you some perspective, that's more than the casualties in every war since Vietnam, all of them combined. Now, actuarial reports that young people are being disproportionately affected here. Mortality was 26% higher among insured 35 to 44-year-olds and 19% higher for 25 to 34-year-olds. This is overall COVID deaths, of course, have dropped 84% since 2021. And my next guest is sounding the alarm. President and Chief Medical Officer of the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance, Dr. Pierre Corey. Dr. Corey, we got to know each other during COVID. These figures are staggering. Now, I think people see these numbers, Dr. Corey, and they might blame fentanyl or drugs or, unknown heart problems, even in young athletes. People say that they're not uncommon. It's happened in years prior. So could this explain all these deaths?
No, absolutely not. I mean, if you take a close look at the numbers, and the life insurance industry, the actuaries have done this. It's the timing. Fentanyl didn't just explode on the scene in 2021. Global warming or obesity or diabetes or deaths of despair. I mean, the timing is really inarguable. I mean, we have to answer the question, why are the healthiest elements of society, these are young, employed, folks with life insurance, suddenly started dying at rates we've never seen before in 2021, and it continues. And so we're left with the question, what happened in the American workplace in 2021 that led to this unprecedented rate of death? And the challenge here, Laura, is we're trying to ask the question. We wrote that op-ed trying to put that data out there. We need our government to function. Public health, one of their main objectives or responsibilities is to collect this data to inform us so that we can, enact policies. And I don't see an organized effort to trying to answer the question why young people are dying so much.
Well, and Journal of American Medical Association study on cancer diagnoses between 2010 and 2019 found that certain kinds of cancer were being diagnosed more often in younger adults in the United States, and increases seem to be driven by cancers in women and adults in their 30s. So overall, early onset cancers increased over that decade by an average of 0.28% each year. And among women, it was like 0.67%. So that's 33% and 7% respectively over that time frame. So have you seen that kind of uptick firsthand?
Well, the numbers that you just quoted are dwarfed by what we're describing. I mean, we're seeing these rises, these sudden rises in traditionally healthy sectors of society. We've never seen dying at this rate. I mean, unless we send all our young people to war, you can't explain why so many young people are dying. And we need our governments to function. And here's the thing. I have a private practice. I specialize in COVID care, not only acute, but I specialize in long COVID and long vax. Long vax is the chronic illness that's triggered by the vaccine. It's way more common than long COVID. And I have thousands of patients that are decimated. Their health is disturbed. This is not the dead, right? That op-ed, we talked about the dying, but, theirs has exploded since the outset of the campaign. Why are we not asking questions? All we've seen our government do and these agencies is ignore it and dismiss it.
Well, I mean, just to the layman watching this and hearing about this, like with so much else that happened in the last few years, it sounds like a cover-up. And, that's why they rushed out to condemn people like you, and it was all misinformation and disinformation, and they went after me for the hydroxychloroquine. I mean, it was just never-ending assault on anyone who asked questions. But my simple question to you is, are you seeing incidents of individuals who have compromised immunity and other problems that you believe are directly related to multiple COVID-19 shots?
There's not even a question that is occurring. I mean, there's really good science to explain why that's occurring. I'm seeing it clinically in my practice. You're seeing it in these reports from around the world of these sudden, white lung syndromes, everyone's sick and entering hospitals. I mean, we're in the wake of a global mass vaccination campaign, and people are not recognizing. We've known for years that, for instance, flu vaccines increase your risk of other respiratory viruses. And now we're seeing this whole world that got vaccinated. And
we'll have to.
It's not surprising.
This has to be studied without bias, and can't jump to conclusions until we have the information. But Dr. Corey, we really appreciate your work here and your effort. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura.
So we're going to need to take a closer look at this and get some facts and see where they lead us. Absolutely got to deal with facts. What else can I tell you? Apparently, no, I don't want to run that because I'm not sure if it's true or not. Not 100% true, so I'm not going to share that tonight. Nope. And that looks like it's fake as anything to me. So I'm not going to show you that. Definitely AI generated. So we'll just bypass all of that. My feed here is contaminated with a lot of propaganda. So we're not going to share that, and we're not going to share that. And we're not going to share that. But I will tell you that Israel has reported that they have mistakenly killed 3 Israeli hostages in Gaza. This happened today. in a battle in Gaza City. Apparently, an Israeli strike killed a Palestinian journalist in the south of the besieged territory. This has been going on now for 2 months? So these hostages were killed in the Gaza City area of Shaijalea. I cannot pronounce it, I'm sorry. And I've not been there. Shaijaiyah? Shijaiyah. Shijaya. Where troops have been engaged in fighting with Hamas. So the soldiers say, well, Israeli authorities say that the soldiers mistakenly identified these 3 hostages as a threat and opened fire on them. They said they weren't sure, that they thought that they don't know why they were where they were, whether they had escaped or had been released or what it was. But they thought they were a threat and opened fire and killed them. So we know that Hamas took 240 some people hostage back on October 7th during that attack on Israel, which of course triggered this whole war. Since then, quite a few hostages have been released, but they still have somewhere around 130 approximately in custody. So these 3 hostages have been identified as 3 young men who had been abducted from the Israeli communities near the Gaza border on October 7th. 28-year-old Yotam Haim, 25-year-old Samer al-Talaka, and 26-year-old Elon Shamriz. And the United States, Israel saying, of course, the path to peace would involve having Hamas stand down and simply release the remaining hostages. And then these assaults, according to Israel, well, that's what we've been hearing from John Kirby at the White House repeatedly, is that they release the hostages, this can come to an end. I don't think that's going to happen. Not anytime soon. And there was another emergency session at the United Nations today. The United Nations General Assembly had an emergency session talking about the situation, the war between Israel and Hamas, calling for a ceasefire. And we've been seeing that kind of talk just go on and on day after day now for the past, well, the better part of this week. So it's just going around in circles, ultimately. Now, what else can I share with you tonight? Well, give me a minute here. I'm going to cue a couple of things up. Will you watch this?
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, did you guys see this story about the fish washing ashore in Japan? 1,200 tons approximately of fish just washing ashore. I've seen stuff like this happen in the Great Lakes from time to time during like temperature inversions. When conditions are just right, There can be oxygen depletion in the water. It can cause massive fish die-offs, but this is pretty incredible. In fact, here, let me see if I can find the footage over here for you. I don't think they're 100% sure exactly what the heck happened, what led to it, but it's just massive amounts. Here we go. Of fish washing ashore. And of course, it has instantly become political. Here we go. Look at this. Unbelievable. Look at all the dead fish. So yeah, they don't really know what the cause of this is. Some people just jumping right on it, though, saying it's climate change, without really having facts to back that up. The officials there are actually saying they don't really know. Japanese fishery officials are battling these rumors that the incidents are connected with the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant as well. That melted down back in 2011. And then Japan began releasing treated wastewater from the plant 3 months ago as it continues to decommission that destroyed nuclear facility. So this is not the first fish die-off to occur there. The first one occurred in Hakodate. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly either. On Japan's northernmost main island, back on December 7th. And then as you see here, these fish die-offs are creating a blanket of dead fish on these beaches. And people who live there say they've never seen anything like this before. Absolutely incredible. And of course, it's resulting in a massive, massive stench as the fish decompose. Truly unbelievable. Absolutely crazy. So I don't know what the deal is there. I have, as I said, I've seen giant fish die-offs even in the Great Lakes from time to time. Sometimes that is related to algae blooms too in lakes, where algae goes crazy and grows like crazy and then sucks all the oxygen out of the water and can actually create toxicity in the water, which can kill off fish and can actually be harmful to humans too in some cases. But in this case, not really clear. So we'll keep an eye on that if we can. Officials there say they are concerned about these rumors surrounding the possible cause. They don't want those rumors to get out of hand, and they are searching for evidence, facts to share with the public so that people know what is really going on. Don't know. It's okay to, I guess, have questions, but let's not jump to conclusions. Also, speaking of science, I know that a lot of people are concerned about vaccines, but there is a new vaccine out. And I mean, we knew this was coming because this mRNA technology, when the pandemic first hit, those advocating for the expansion and use of this new technology were saying that they would be able to cure cancer by creating new vaccines using this synthetic approach to vaccination and the creation of vaccines. And they have indeed come up with a new vaccine by Moderna and Merck. And they say that it can reduce the recurrence of and death for melanoma by half. It's the most dangerous form of skin cancer, and that they're talking about here. And they say that studies have shown that after 3 years, when paired with Merck's antibody medication, Keytruda, they can cut the death rate by 49%. When patients use this new mRNA or RNA vaccine to treat melanomas. They had 157 patients involved in the study with stage 3 and stage 4 melanoma. Their tumors were removed before being treated with either the vaccine or the drug, and the reduction is up to 44% found. What are they saying here? The reduction is up from 44% found a year earlier. So I'm having trouble following these numbers for you, but the bottom line is they're saying they can cut the risk or the recurrence of cancer in these patients by almost half. They're now expanding their study to include breast cancer. They have a breast cancer vaccine, I guess, that they're going to be testing as well. They are already testing this new RNA-based cancer vaccine. And it's in the same family as, it's in the same strain, I guess, of vaccines as this new vaccine being used for melanoma. New technology, all novel stuff. And we know what we just heard from Laura Ingram and that doctor, concerns about the thing in the arm. And a lot of people still are. And we're looking at numbers. It's hard to know what the truth is. Will people put more trust in this than they did in the other one? For me, I didn't get the thing in the arm. I'm not going to get the thing in the arm because I just felt that it came out so quickly and was not thoroughly tested that it made no sense to me. So not for me. That was my decision. And I know a lot of you right here in our community, our family here, I know you feel the exact same way. Or you maybe have other reasons why you didn't want to pursue it. Canada's Heritage Minister has come out with more information and comments today on the final regulations for Canada's Online News Act. Of course, this is all about streaming and money to go to the legacy media companies being transferred from social media giants to the legacy media. This has, of course, had a direct impact on us because Facebook ultimately said they weren't going to pay, and then they said no more news then on Facebook, and then they took our news channel and just took a hatchet to it. Direct impact on us. Also, just a point, just something to note, our broadcast from last night was blocked after the fact by YouTube. They blocked our broadcast, so you cannot see it on YouTube. Last night's show. It went live, it went out, and afterward, they blocked it. That's why it's not there, folks. You may see that it's labeled as blocked or can't be seen or whatever, and it's because YouTube blocked the program. And Facebook, of course, we're struggling over there too because the main news channel not available in Canada anymore, and our other pages, they just don't put them out there. They don't rank them like they used to. We used to have a lot of followers on Facebook, and now we're way, way down over there. It's almost non-existent. And this has now been, the problems have been complicated. The water's muddied by Canada's Online News Act. And here's the Heritage Minister today commenting on this. Let me just bring up, this is Pascal Saint-Onge, and let me share it with you now.
The government's work in implementing the Online News Act by sending the final regulations to the CRTC. It's the independent institution that will be responsible to make sure that the legislation is enforced, and also that whatever negotiations and agreements fall under the legislation and the regulations. It's a great day for the sustainability of our newsrooms. We know that there's been a lot of layoffs. More than thousands of journalists have lost their jobs across the country in the past decade. Having more equitable relationships and commercial relationships between tech giants and our newsroom is an essential part of ensuring the sustainability of our news sector and ensuring that journalism continues to play its role in democracy. It's also a first of its kind in the world where we have a transparent and viable legislation where smaller news outlets also have a seat at the negotiating table with the tech giants. So this is extremely good for Canadians. It's good for democracy, and I think it's a good step for the rest of the world as well.
Quand est-ce qu'on va commencer à voir cet argent arriver vers les différents médias?
La loi entre en vigueur le 19 décembre et donc les plateformes ont
for our US viewers,
le plus rapidement possible.
Sorry about the French. I know that
pour avoir
for the most part,
des ententes qui répondent aux exigences prescrites dans la loi et aussi dans la réglementation. Et l'objectif des plateformes, c'est évidemment d'en venir à des ententes négociées, de ne pas avoir à, si jamais il n'y en a pas d'entente,
just want to stick with it for just a little bit longer here, though.
Tranché par un arbitre qui serait nommé par le CRTC. Donc, parce qu'il y a un processus pour obtenir une exemption, c'est-à-dire que quand les plateformes ont
on the other side of this, we'll try and get into this story about Dundas Square in Toronto being renamed.
100% à CBC Radio-Canada. Comment vous êtes arrivé à ce chiffre-là? Un, et deux, qu'est-ce que vous dites à ceux qui disent que c'est injuste? Ça se trouve enlever 7 millions aux plus petits médias, comme les médias communautaires, entre autres, qui en arrachent.
Bien, premièrement, c'est important de rappeler qu'il ne s'agit pas ici d'un programme gouvernemental. C'est une loi pour établir des relations commerciales qui sont plus équitables entre les géants du numérique puis nos médias. Puis on a toujours été clair pendant tout le processus législatif que ça ne faisait pas de sens d'exclure CBC Radio-Canada en disant que les plateformes n'avaient pas à reconnaître ou à compenser notre diffuseur public pour la valeur que les nouvelles amènent sur leur plateforme. Parce que c'est avec ces contenus-là qu'ils vont chercher des revenus publicitaires. Donc, d'exclure le diffuseur public complètement, c'était un principe qui aurait, à mon avis, puis de l'avis du gouvernement, dévalorisé le rôle essentiel.
Sorry, just speaking too fast. My French isn't good enough. I can't keep up and give you an accurate translation on this.
On tient compte quand même de la réalité du marché.
I mix up my Spanish and my French.
Le secteur privé a beaucoup de difficultés, mais on l'a vu. CBC Radio-Canada aussi fait face à la baisse de revenus publicitaires puis à la crise des médias. Mais on a mis ça à 7% parce que ça va quand même donner un coup de main pour payer des journalistes, notamment dans des zones.
Let me pull this down and we'll. Okay, here we go.
Represent the largest news websites in Canada.
Yes, there's two things that we need to consider. First of all, this is an agreement between Google and news outlets. So first of all, Google, it's an exchange of value between Google and news outlets. So of course, it concerns first and foremost content that is online. Second of all, content that will also be on the platform, on Google. And we know that, how the news sector is divided. It's a third of journalists are at CBC Radio-Canada, about a third of journalists at broadcasters, and a third of journalists in publishers, the publishing sector. But for broadcasters, it's not all journalists that their work is primarily for the online content. So, and again, I remind that this is a deal between Google and the media. So this is why 30% represents pretty much a third of the total of the envelope. So it's pretty fair. So we tried to make sure that there's a fair compensation for broadcasters, for publishers, and we capped the amount for CBC Radio-Canada.
Stand with Meta. Are you hoping for a similar deal that you have here with Google? Where do things stand? Are you at the negotiating table with Meta? What's happening there?
Well, it takes two to negotiate, and everybody has seen the approach that Meta and Facebook has taken, which is to not participate in the legislative process, not to participate in the regulatory process. So no, there is no negotiations currently with Facebook. However, the legislation will be enforced on December 19, and the CRTC will have to examine which platforms fall under the legislation. And I'm sure that CRTC will pay close attention to Facebook and Meta.
C'est quoi le plus tôt qu'on pourrait voir des...
Okay, that's enough. So the government also issued this media release, which I'll bring up here for you with regard to this, and it is absolutely important. So we will share this with you. It says here, a free, strong, and independent press is essential in informing communities, driving civic engagement, and countering the rise of disinformation. However, for many years, the dominance of large digital platforms in the advertising market has been ending the health of our news sector. The Online News Act affirms the importance of journalism in our democracy and will help newsrooms across Canada receive fair compensation from dominant digital platforms in the years ahead. This compensation is critical in helping newsrooms continue to serve their local communities. Today, the Honorable Pascal Saint-Onge, Minister of Canadian Heritage, released the final regulations to support the implementation of the Online News Act. These final regulations provide clarity on which platforms are subject to the Act. Google Search is expected to meet the regulatory thresholds and to be subject to the Act. Its contribution will be $100 million in financial support annually, indexed to inflation for a wide range of news businesses across the country, including independent news businesses and those from Indigenous and official language minority communities. Under the regulations, Google will have the option to work with a single collective to distribute its financial contribution to all interested eligible news businesses based on the number of full-time equivalent journalists employed by those businesses. The regulations account for the dynamics of the Canadian news industry, and the total amount can be received by broadcasters as a group is capped in this scenario. Proposed regulations were published in the Canada Gazette, Part 1, for public consultation from September 2nd to October 2nd, 2023. The Canadian Radio, Television, and Telecommunications Commission, the CRTC, will soon start consultations on its own regulations under the Online News Act. Information about how to take part will be available on the CRTC website. So here's some quick facts. On November 29th, the Minister of Canadian Heritage announced that Google will contribute $100 million in financial support annually. And then after intensive consultations with news sector stakeholders, platforms, and the general public, the government has revised the draft regulations for the Online News Act to reflect the comments received. Constructive dialogue with Google, it says here, was crucial to developing a solution that would both offer clarity to platforms and provide support to Canadian news businesses. La 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 la. It's a transfer of money, folks, from social media giants back to the legacy media. And even though they're saying it will also potentially be available to other online news agencies, my guess is most independents will not qualify. They will find a variety of reasons to prohibit independent media outlets from partaking in the trough feeding. Not that I'm that upset about the social media giants who basically engage in censorship at the will of the government anyway, bending the knee on censorship. So I don't think they really deserve our sympathy, but this is the government really exerting unprecedented control over social media platforms and redistributing wealth back to the news or information outlets, the broadcasters that already receive millions and millions of dollars in government subsidies so they can regurgitate government messaging back to the public on behalf of the government in a way that is disguised. And most people don't even realize that they're really just getting a government message straight up. And it absolutely is true. All right. Let's, again, take a short break, be right back, and then we'll dig into this renaming of Dundas Square in Toronto, Canada.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
The New World Order. Government overreach. The Great Reset. Mainstream media lies. Now more than ever, independent voices are needed. Donate now at freedomreporters.com. That's freedomreporters.com. Maverick News. The antivirus program for your mind.
Okay, so I'm receiving a message that says we're not airing on Rumble, but I see that we are on that channel. And let me check over here. And we're running on this channel, channel 2. And, I have, hang on a second here. Let me run a little promo again, and I'm going to check and see what's going on. We're running on both channels, but I'm not sure if they are both public. Let me check for you. I'll be right back.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media. More alarmingly, some media outlets simply aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
In an ocean of lies a century deep, the truth awaits. Choose not the red pill. Choose not the blue pill. For both are an illusion. Discover the power of M. The power of individuality. We are Mavericks, we are the way to the light. Fear not the storm. Join our quest for truth. Truth will set you free. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, so we are firing on both Rumble platforms tonight. I'm not sure exactly what. There was one change in that the feed is going out, the socket where it goes in. The two channels were flipped, but it should not affect what actually goes out onto those channels. I do see that the numbers are split tonight. So it split the audience sort of in half, and the numbers over on YouTube are up as a result as well. So kind of strange, but that is what is going on. We are, in fact, operating and running on both channels, though. It's just that the audience is split up, and I apologize for any confusion that this has caused this evening. Rumble's a kind of a strange platform technically, but we continue to grow there. So sorry about that, folks. All I can say is it is out there, and it is available, and it is public, and it is running. So it is what it is. At this point, there's really nothing more I can do. Still can't see anything in Rumble, it says. I don't know. That's the second channel where most people are watching tonight. I'll just put the link right up for you so you can see it. No, it's not firing. It is bit, but it's not. I don't know what's wrong with it. Well, here, I'll put the other channel up. Rumble. You guys probably don't do any live streamings yourselves on this platform. I can just tell you that it is kind of a pain in the neck to set up. Don't really quite understand it. Why it does this crazy stuff sometimes. Here's the link to the channel where most people on Rumble are watching. I'll put that in here. This is our secondary channel. So we picked up quite a few viewers there, but our viewership is definitely cut way down tonight as a result of this technical glitch. So I'll tell you what, I'll run a little promo thing. I'm going to reset the streaming information and then see if we can get it fired back up. Yeah, thank you, Louie. I appreciate that. He's sending me some information about that. So let me back over here. And we want to go to, which one are we? Man, I don't know which one is which now. Okay, so that's 2. So we want to go to 1. Again, I apologize, folks. Let me just produce and talk at the same time. It's fun.
Jingle bells. Trudeau smells. Biden laid an egg. Klaus Schwab's deal has no appeal. But tomorrow is a brand new day. Hey everyone. Have a Merry Maverick Christmas. and a magnificent new year.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, and let me just see if it's rolling. Yeah, I think we're up. Okay, so there you go. Connection restored on the main Rumble channel for anybody who might be over there. And sorry about that, folks, but that's the way she goes. All right, so Dundas Square in Toronto is being renamed. It was named after Henry Dundas, who was actually, as I understand my history, was an abolitionist. He was actually against slavery, but Toronto City Council has decided that he is connected to slavery and therefore time to change the name. And the new name that they have chosen is Sankofa Square. Here's a media release. Let me just get this little comment chat thingy off the screen. Gina says, thank you, Louis. Yeah, thank you, Louis. He did comment and updated us on what was going on with the Rumble feed. So here's the media release on the name change. This stuff, honestly, I have to confess, it drives me a little bit crazy. I don't like change anyway, because I'm getting old and stuck in my ways. But here's what Toronto, the municipality, is saying. Toronto City Council has adopted recommendations to rename 4 major City of Toronto assets: Yonge and Dundas Square, Dundas and Dundas West subway stations, and the Jane Dundas Public Library. The city will consider next steps to rename these assets in 2024. Following 2 years of consultation, research, and discussion, the city's Recognition Review Community Advisory Committee unanimously selected the name Sankofa Square for Yonge Dundas Square. The concept of Sankofa, originating in Ghana, refers to the act of reflecting on and reclaiming teachings from the past, which enables people to move forward together. This new name reflects the city's commitment to taking steps to right wrongs, confront anti-Black racism, and build a more inclusive Toronto for all. The Yonge Dundas Square Board will report to City Council on details related to the adoption of the new name by the end of second quarter of 2024. City Council adopted the motion recommending the city adopt the new name Sankofa Square for Yonge Dundas Square, remove the Dundas name from 3 other city assets, Dundas and Dundas West subway stations, and the Jane Dundas Public Library, starting in 2024, undertake a public education campaign, which will launch in 2024, and extend into 2025 that will focus on acknowledging the impact of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. Pause work on the remaining recommendations from the July 2021 decision, including the renaming of Dundas Street, until Council provides direction to resume. In fall 2021, the Recognition Review, CAC, was formed to develop a short list of new names. 20 members on that board. The CAC unanimously selected the name Sankofa Square. The net cost to the city is estimated to be $700,000 with identified offsets. In other words, I think they're going to get some transfer payments from senior levels of government to help offset the total cost of doing this. The Recognition Review, Dundas renaming project, has been underway since 2020. Dundas Street and other city-owned assets bearing the Dundas name and a transition plan to support impacted residents and businesses are all affected. The 20-member Recognition Review, CAC, was formed in the fall of 2021 and was made up of Black and Indigenous leaders, along with other diverse residents and business owners living and working along Dundas Street. It has set off a wave of commentary and controversy. It says here, Toronto is home to more than 3 million people whose diversity and experiences make this great city Canada's leading economic engine and one of the world's most diverse and livable cities. As the fourth largest city in North America, Toronto is a global leader in technology, finance, film, music, culture, and innovation and climate action, and consistently places at the top of international rankings due to investments championed by its government, residents, and businesses. Blah, 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 blah. More blah, blah, blah from Toronto. Olivia Chow, the new mayor there, and not too popular with some people and very popular with others because of this tonight, I guess. All you have to do is take a look at what's going on Twitter with regard to this. And I guess, I don't know, the $700,000, that's misleading. The cost of doing this, of changing the name Dundas on all these different locations, and in particular in Dundas Square, it's going to be much higher. It's probably going to reach into the millions of dollars. I'm not sure exactly what this clip of Olivia Chow, the new mayor of Toronto, contains, but I'll run this for you. This is supposed to be related, so hopefully it's got some value. It's unvetted. I don't know. I'm just going to let this roll and let's see what she's saying about it.
But of course, it doesn't take us all the way there. We still have a large budget deficit to address, which includes, as I said, the $250 million that we need from the federal government for refugees shelter. Further, many of the historic commitments from the province in the New Deal hinges on the federal government delivering as well, like the bluer subway cars. So you've heard me say quite a few times, I'm asking the federal government to join us and step up, deliver to the people of Toronto.
You know, there are some estimates here tonight that the total cost of completing this renaming project could reach as much as $12 to $15 million. And the city of Toronto is under severe financial stress. It was a major issue in the mayoral by-election after John Tory was forced to resign as a result of his indiscretion and the scandal that resulted from it, his relationship with that staffer, and his subsequent fall from grace. This, to me, is part of the culture war. I said a long time ago when Justin Trudeau invoked the Emergencies Act, that was the day Canada ended. And we saw the Canadian flag flown at half staff for many, many months when that story about the graves came out. And fair enough. I mean, you've got issues in the past that maybe people still want to deal with. That's fine, but let's deal again in facts. And since then, I don't think there has been a single grave exhumed. I don't think we have any more information today than we did when that story was resurrected. Because the information surrounding that, really nothing new. Portrayed to the public as new, but really that was used as a political tool and a wedge, and another effort to erode pride in the nation, to make people feel ashamed of their country. And this is not just being generated domestically. This is happening internationally. We are getting these pressures from outside the country. Just listen to Vladimir Putin's speech yesterday, where he came right out and used the same rhetoric, the same language that we hear at home with regard to all of this, referring to this as colonialism. And what did Putin say in his speech yesterday? He said, "It is over." Referring to colonialism and American imperialism, but using the word colonialism specifically in his speech yesterday, making reference to international colonialism, Western countries, NATO countries, the United States, and Canada. All of this is interconnected. And that is why we are seeing the renaming of places like Dundas Square. Because to the people on the left, the people who have been working to exert more authoritarianism, a lot more socialism, neoliberal wokeism, who are engaging in all of these activities to erode our national identity and redefine Canada in the way that Justin Trudeau wants it redefined as the world's first post-national state. To those people, this is the strategy. Tear down the statues, make everybody ashamed of their past, destroy the country from within in the name of social justice, redefine the country, and it is being redefined. It is not the Canada that we had. This is the new Canada, as you see in the thumbnail that I created for the program on the One Rumble channel tonight, which is now back up and running. Toronto in particular is, certainly not like it was back in the 1970s, 60s, the 80s. The demographics are completely different, redefined, and I'm not sure what Canada is anymore. I'm sorry to say. But Sankofa Square, what is that? Ghana? What does that have to do with Canada? Like, wouldn't they rename it, I don't know, Beaver Boulevard or Canada Goose Square. Or even, I don't know, Maple Leaf Square or something, Maple Syrup Square, like anything Canadian. Canoeville, like Hockey Stick Central, something Canadian, but Sankofa Square? I don't know. It irritates me. All right. Here's Andrew Lawton, True North. This post is getting a lot of traction tonight. He's saying that Toronto is stripping Henry Dundas's name from young Dundas Square over his connection to slavery, even though he was an abolitionist. But get this, he says, the city is renaming it Sankofa Square, a word from the Akan tribe in Ghana. The Akan exchanged their gold for, get this, slaves. Yeah. Then he has some information about that from, I don't know, some historical journal, I guess. I don't know, something that he's uncovered about the history of this tribe in Ghana. So I looked up, well, it's a Akan tribe. First word that comes up on Google when I type in Akan is Akan slaves. Akan people. Just, you can't make this stuff up, I guess. That's the first thing that it automatically populated the word slaves for me when I typed in the word Akan. Akan people on Wikipedia. Slavery and Akan origins. Akan slavery in Africa and the Atlantic. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Akan tribe. Don't know. I just look at that and I say, what does that have to do with Canada? The Akan states of West Africa. I know that Ghana takes a lot of, they buy a lot of cars from Canada, like secondhand cars, and a lot of them in disrepair, because I don't think it's a very rich country. And I've spoken to car dealers who send over even cars that are smashed up or have been in accidents, and they send them over there and they get fixed up, and the people drive these, some of them, I mean, they're okay cars once they're fixed, but they buy a lot of that stuff from the Canadian automotive supply chain. Here's JSTOR, Slavery and Akan Origins. Ivor Wilkes is the Dean of Scholars writing about the Asante of Ghana, his massive Asante in the 19th century, la la la. So it's got all this information here about slavery and the Akan tribe. So I don't know. The Akan diaspora. Says, I guess some of the people from that tribe were brought to North America. This chapter focuses on those Akan who lived agitatedly in captivity and remained complicit with the order of things or sought to temporarily and spiritually transcend captivity in Georgia, Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, and parts of the northern United States. Akan naming was one of the most significant and enduring cultural practices in the Caribbean, and this was no different in North America, where the Akan naming pattern and name transmission were carried on in the southern United States. It says, in English phonetic rendering, Akan names and persons appeared prominently in runaway slave advertisements, which provide a demographic record and a taxonomy of African bodies. However objectifying those ads may be, they nonetheless allow for retrieval of some of the condescended All I can tell you is this don't feel Canadian. And when it comes to slavery, Canada has some things to be proud of, in that Canada helped end slavery, and Canada was the end destination for the Underground Railroad, where fugitive slaves running away found freedom here. There's our community where I live, a lot of there's a lot of history right here about this was an end destination where I live right here for the Underground Railroad. Not to say that, there aren't things in the past that we need to recognize that aren't positive, but there's a lot of positive stuff too. And Canada's history with slavery is not like it is in the United States. It's a lot different. But the demographics have changed, and I guess they are determined to change the face of Canada, the feel of Canada, the culture of Canada, whatever that culture is evolving into. But Sankofa Square. Sankofa. Frustrates me. All that being said, let's not drag this on. Let's just go to the phones. I'll crank the phone system up here, and we'll come back and you guys can comment. Help me out with this one, guys. I'm just a little flustered tonight.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, just before we get to the phones, a few people did donate last night and have sent information about the kind of Exile the Knights of Malta shirts they want. We have these sweatshirts. Exile the Knights of Malta. Thank you, Choosy. Great Maverick Knight who inspired these shirts, because the Knights of Malta are a real thing, and we are going to exile them, which really means we are going to root out corruption and make that our mission here, and seek to end corruption within our government and our governmental systems by exiling the Knights of Malta in a peaceful way. Exile them, expose them, and exile the Knights of Malta. No more special treatment, no more elite status for the Knights of Malta. We shall exile them and expose them for what they are, corrupt. And you can support the show by providing donations. So we have these in sweatshirts. We also have the long sleeve tees. Long sleeve, great for sleeping in. I like those. And regular t-shirts as well. 100% cotton. Good quality. So any donation of $30 or more for a t-shirt, $35 or more for the long sleeve tee, and $45 or more for a sweatshirt. And when you donate, which you can do at freedomreporters.com, that's the way to go if you're going to do this. freedomreporters.com, just go to that URL, and when you make your donation, just in the comments section, the message, send me a message with your shipping information and tell me what size of shirt you would like. And you can have it in any color you want as long as it's black. So get your Exile, the Knights of Malta shirts, and support the channel. And it'll help us root out the corruption. We're going to turn the tables here. That's what we're doing. See, we were talking about surveillance, and even those digital glasses from Meta that they're coming out, sort of a new version of the Google glasses that they came out with a number of years ago. So Meta is now because they're coming out with these eyeglasses that are equipped with cameras, and they're like an interface to the internet. You walk around wearing these things, and they constantly, if you turn them on, you're just constantly shooting video or taking pictures. People don't even know. Well, we're not going to sit around and wait for the government to surveil us. We're going to start surveilling the government. That's what we're doing. That's what we did during the convoy too, really, is with all that live streaming stuff and sharing all the live streams and putting all that stuff out here on this channel. We were holding everyone accountable for their actions and showing the world what really happened during the Freedom Convoy. And we continue to do that here with this channel as well, by showing people what's really going on in the world. So yeah, you can donate at freedomreporters.com. Please like, share, subscribe. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing over on Rumble. That's super, super important. If you just want to make a donation, you can also do that through the Rumble rants, but it's difficult for me to figure out who's donated anything after the show on Rumble. They don't provide that information. So if you want a shirt, do it through freedomreporters.com, or you can go to our website at mavericknews.ca and you can send me a message directly there. There is a contact page. Just go there, and then you can email me or message me through the online website communication system at mavericknews.ca, and I'll take care of you. And thank you to, there were a few people who wanted shirts, and they messaged last night, and early this morning. So I appreciate that very, very much. Really helps out a lot. Truly grateful, because these phone line systems too, they cost money. And even though I'm working on a new system, which I'm hoping will be a little bit more cost effective, I still haven't quite got the technical stuff figured out. So let me, again, get things fired up here. We're going to go to the phones. And we can talk about anything you want to talk about tonight, but I thought you might want to talk about the renaming of Dundas Square. Everything in that vein, really. Hang on a second here while what happened? Okay, I'm trying to do too many things at once, and I lost my place while setting up the phone line system. So let me run this so that I can focus on that, and then we can get to those phones. Hang on just a moment. I'll be right back.
The New World Order. Government overreach. The Great Reset. Mainstream media lies. Now more than ever, independent voices are needed. Donate now at freedomreporters.com. That's freedomreporters.com. Maverick News. The antivirus program for your mind.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media. More alarmingly, some media outlets publish these stories that simply aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
In an ocean of lies a century deep, the truth awaits. Choose not the red pill. Choose not the blue pill. For both are an illusion. Discover the power of M. The power of individuality. We are Mavericks, we are the way to the light. Fear not the storm. Join our quest for truth. Truth will set you free. Maverick News. The world is watching.
And you can join the show by calling in at 1-833-975-3733. And yeah, let's talk about where the United States is going, where Canada is going, where Western society is going. Look at the crazy stuff that's going on right now. Tampons in men's washrooms provided free of charge by the government for what? Men do not need them. And the politicians who are criticizing it are coming out saying that the cost is the big issue. But it goes beyond that. The insanity is the issue. The stupidity of it is the issue. That's the center of the whole thing for me. You can join the conversation at 1-833-975-3733.
Join the conversation. Call 1-833-975-3733. That's 1-833-975-FREE. Speak up. Speak out. Make your voice heard. Maverick News. Fighting for freedom by defending your right to free speech. Be a Maverick. Join us.
Okay, and again, that number is 1-833-975-3733, 1-833-975-FREE. It is a free call. It's toll free. And we do have our first callers of the night in the queue. So let's go to our first caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
You got the mouth of the Celta man without a plan to master all your disasters, Rick.
Hey, Leo.
What a waste of money. Yeah. I'm sick and tired of being fleeced by our governments at all levels, okay? Now they're going to change signs to dumbass or dumbass, whatever they want to call it now.
Sankofa.
Okay.
Square.
Yeah. Here you got a mayor speaking out two sides of her face, how they don't have enough money, for starters, for the refugee crisis that's about to hit Canada. But they found money to change the streets. Yeah. The names. Makes me sick to my stomach.
Me too.
Really, it does. Especially this time of year.
Yep. But when you're taking over a country and completely, fundamentally changing it culturally, legally, from within, then, that's the most important thing to you. And that's not what we should be focused on at all. We need to be focused on helping people.
100%. I couldn't agree more. You're absolutely right. Okay. You see tampons in the male bathrooms, waste of money. Street name changes, waste of money. Okay, it's dire straits for a lot of people. I don't know what this government don't get.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. I don't know if you see my Facebook Live today, the short one I did.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay, it's every year we have Christmas party at work, and it's catered in from whatever restaurants. Okay, this year we picked Kubota. Okay, so Kubota came in and the individual meals, right? And shit, there was like 20 meals left over. This is from the day shift alone. 20 meals left over. So I told my boss, I'm going to go to the mission. I'll donate it to the mission. So I went down there with the 20 individual meals to the mission, and I gave it to the mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I made a nice little video, very short video, right? I don't care about people's political stripes right now. You could be a conservative, you could be NDP, you could be liberal, you could be a fucking unicorn. I don't care. You could be whatever religion background that you want to be. I don't fucking care. Your sexual orientation, I don't care. You know, this is a time for everybody. I don't care who you are, what color you are, to come together, because the only way we're going to get out of this fucking big problem that we're in is if we don't do it individually, but as a group. So the more people that get involved with helping the homeless and in hunger and everything else, is the faster we're going to get out of this. The government ain't going to do fuck all, folks, as we see.
Mm-hmm.
So I've lost faith in our government a long time ago. Okay, and you know, for the holidays, I just want to stay away from all the political bullshit, all the sexual orientation, all that shit. Okay, I'm just going to stay away from it all.
You know,
and do positive things
years and
for
years,
people.
Years and years ago, it was churches and community groups, public service organizations that would come together and provide help for people, families in need. That's where the community found its whole support mechanism, right? It was the people helping the people. But now today, with the rise of socialism and these false promises of security coming from our governments at all levels, these politicians who are saying, vote for me, we'll take care of the homeless, we'll take care of the hungry. No, man, you know what? I don't believe you, because you do not have a good track record in this regard at all. I think if you go back in time, you know, there were fewer people who were homeless. Where I live, never saw homeless people here even 20 years ago when I moved to this town. No homeless people. Now that we have a lot of homeless people. And the more the politicians get involved, the more government says that they're going to take care of the most vulnerable, the more vulnerable they become, and the more homeless we have, and the more social problems we have. We need to kind of find a way to get back to that grassroots community, you know, coming together and people supporting people in a real cohesive and natural, organic way. Not this government is going to take care of us from the cradle to the grave stuff.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people, they rely on that. Okay, it's false hope, folks. Okay, false fucking hope. I'm just punched out of work. Okay, just now. And I could be off till the 2nd of January if I want to be. And I think I'm going to take them up on that option, because we're not busy. And I'm going to take a little break. They asked me if I wanted to go to a new shop, another one. This will be the third one. Okay, and this one's nothing to do with the auto industry. It's aerospace, right? So I said, yeah, I'm going to go over to that shop. So, you know, just because I get all the hours I want, and I'm not relying on the big three. Okay, I'm relying on SpaceX and whoever else, right?
Yeah.
Big government contracts in the next building, right? So it is what it is. And it's funny you said that about people relying on the government, because I just put my councilman to the test, and I sent him a text around on Facebook anyways, about 2 a.m. Okay, he's a piss tank. So I know he was up and he probably read it. But this is what I wrote to him, and it was along the lines of, I want to start a community garden, and not a small one. You know, due to the rising costs of food and inflation, okay, I want to get a community garden, but what I need from him is to go to City Hall and find out what land's free for me to use. I don't want the fucking land, okay? I just want them to up the land. I don't want their money to support it. It'll be nonprofit, and I got a lot of friends with a lot of deep fucking pockets down here in the South, okay, and in Toronto, anything south of Toronto with very deep pockets that will get behind it. Okay, and that food will go to Street Help, the Mission, Salvation Army, whoever, okay, Goodfellows, you name it. There's 1,000 of them out there with their hands open, okay, and whoever needs it, period.
Great idea.
I want to see. Well, I want to see his response. If he don't respond to me back, well, then I'm on my own, and I'm going to do it on my own. And I'm going to bring it up in front of City Council, and I know the motions to go through, and I'll go through the motions because we got all kinds of parcels of land in Windsor, especially downtown. Look at the Grace Hospital site. That's huge. That's perfect. I'd love to see tomatoes and cucumbers and watermelons and broccoli and cauliflower, you name it, beans, lettuce, okay, everything growing there. Right? Not for profit. Here you go. A community garden.
Community initiative. Act locally, right?
Right, and I want to see how serious city politics are about the hunger issue in my city. Because I got a really bad feeling that it's unlawful to feed the wildlife, and the wildlife being that of the needy.
Yeah.
You're going to piss a lot of people off, like who? Loblaws, Superstore, whoever, the IGA, Foodland, because you're cutting into their profits. Well, I'm not cutting into anybody's profits because it's like I said, it's going to be, I don't want to fucking make a cent. I work for a living. Right? But I'll make the time to put this together with people that'll help me put it together, right? So I'm not going to do it alone because individually I'm not going to amount to much, but as a whole, the more the merrier.
Sure.
You know, you get 50, 60 people going, right? And that's not a problem in my city. I can get the people behind it, right? So I want to see where it goes. I want to see what the mayor has to say, what the rest of city council has to say about it. If it's a go or a no go, but there's a lot of land in Windsor not being used.
Awesome
right?
idea.
It's just temporary, right? I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, get all the logistical stuff and the approvals in place over the winter, and then have at it in the spring and get it all started.
Exactly. That's right. Now's the time to start, right? So, come January, I want to see the motions. I'm going to put one in and be heard anyways. Right? I want to hear what they have to say. Fantastic. Are they for it or are they not for it? Hopefully they're for it.
And maybe
they prove me wrong.
Maybe you can come up with a real Canadian name for it.
Yeah. What would be a great Canadian name for that garden? Dundas Square, I would call that Hobo Park, with lots of light. I was down there a couple weeks ago. And Johnny actually was with me. Mm-hmm. And the Dundas Square is a weird place, man. You got a needle exchange, you got a mushroom store, everything in the Dundas Square. So they're giving away free heroin in Dundas Square. Well, not technically heroin, but it's called Dilaudid number 8, mm-hmm. which is probably the synthetic purest form of pharmaceutical heroin grade you could see on the market. People have murdered each other for years over those things, okay? Yeah. And it's created a lot of crime. So for her to sit there and say, oh, Toronto's a 3 million person city that's diversified. Okay, I get it. But it's also a shithole for when it comes down to crime. There's areas in Toronto you just don't go. Right. Jane and Finch.
Yeah.
Regent Park. I can name off 100 in Toronto. You just don't go. Okay, it's run by who? Crips, Bloods, bikers, you name it, right? Everybody's tearing up the town for a piece of whatever they could scrounge up. Turf. You got turf wars, you got bullets flying everywhere, right? They don't like to tell you that, right? So there's a lot of things you don't hear because mainstream media won't cover it when it comes down. There's shootings every day in Toronto. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. The ones that get reported are the ones that they report on. There's a lot that don't get reported in Toronto. It's like Windsor. The other night, me and Anastasia was across the trash from me, maybe 500 feet. 500, let's say not even a quarter mile away, and I hear a shotgun blast. We're watching your show. I said, you hear that shit, Anastasia? She goes, yep, that was a gunshot. Right? I said, well, you'll hear the siren soon. Right? That wasn't reported. So there's a lot of shit that goes on that's not reported. That's why I really like social media, because guess what? I'm in your face. If I wasn't on the couch, cuddled up, listening to Maverick and chatting in the chat, I would have went out and investigated the gunshot blast. But I didn't have to. I was cozy and warm. And you know what? It was probably a safe move to sit there on my couch and listen to you guys.
Yeah. Not always the wisest
Right.
thing to run toward the sounds of gunshots.
No, I've gotten myself into some pretty funny predicaments behind police lines, on the scenes before the police even arrive. Okay, and there was gunshots and violence and all kinds of shit, and they're looking at me like I'm clean cut, I'm white, I look like a fucking detective sometimes, right? And they're looking at me. What unit are you from? Fuck off, buddy. I'm from the Maverick multimedia unit. Right, so it is what it is. All that being said, guys, you guys, like I said, an act of kindness goes a lot further than a lot of people think. And this is the time, it's sad that we only got to do it for part of the year. I'd like to see acts of kindness all year round, every day of the week. And I did see one today, actually, and it was a good one. I was at Oleta in Giles, and this guy was doing me, we're talking snail crawl in a wheelchair. A woman jumped out of her car at the light and pushed the guy across the street and made sure he got, because the hospital right there, Erie and Oleta, right there at Hotel Du, made sure he got across the street safe, right? I'm thinking to myself, no, that's an act of kindness. Small, but it's an act of kindness. So everybody be kind to one another.
Good man. Thank you, Leo. Appreciate the call tonight.
Adios.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
let's move on to Dragon. Hey, Dragon, how are you tonight? Hang on. Didn't quite grab you.
How are you, Rick, and my family?
Hello, sir. How are you tonight? Good.
Oh, there I am. Yeah. What's up, guys? What's up, Rick? Good to see you, sir.
Yes, good to hear from you.
Actually, I was wondering a little something. What you said about the new law, about the CRBC is doing, like, what are they doing really is shutting new content coming, right? Like new media is coming, right? I think that's what it is. Isn't it?
They're certainly giving preferential treatment to the legacy media, transferring money from social media giants back to the CBC, the CTV, Global, Radio Canada, CBC, newspapers with online content. I don't think that much, if any, of this revenue will find its way to any independent media outlets. I can't say for sure. It's all pretty vague to me at this point, but we will see.
Yeah, because, well, as you know, I got my little project coming, and I was kind of thinking that this would probably give me more trouble starting stuff, But, I mean, we don't know. I might just be surprised and
what it's really
just do my
doing
stuff.
here
Oh, by the way,
already, it isn't so much this online streaming act, it's the other piece of legislation that is compelling the social media giants and search engine providers like Google to rank legacy media at the top. So they've been doing this for a while. If you search for us, we don't show up, but CBC, CTV, those guys automatically do. They don't weight it fairly. They give all the authority score, all the weighting goes to those legacy media outlets. They pop up, we get suppressed. That makes it difficult for people to find us. That's having more of an impact than anything.
Right.
That combined with the fact Facebook doesn't put news on their platform anymore. So if you name it news or it's perceived as news, they just don't run it. They suppress it or outright ban it in Canada, block it. And then last night, our show was blocked on YouTube. So people can't see the rerun, the rebrod from it. It's just stuff like that. That makes it difficult to get the message out.
Yeah, it's pretty much our free speech getting like the whack on again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And see,
They're trying to shut us down.
our platform here too is just at a size where it's easy for them to target us, to prevent us. They're trying to prevent us from growing, I think. But if you're a major, if you have a major platform, if you're a big name already, something really large, it's more difficult for them to suppress you because people become more aware of you doing it. They also make a lot more money off those more established, more prominent live streamers and social media influencers. But what's your situation tonight? What else would you like to talk about?
Well, actually, I wanted to say, wow, I love the shirts. By the way, I've just seen it, and wow, beautiful shirt. And actually, well, Mouth, this guy, man, he has a big heart. I love this guy. I love what he's doing, and Jackie has. I think, I know, I mean, this means the world for a lot of people. So go for it, Leo. I'm around, and I'm just behind with you on that project and give you the go.
Good man. Well, don't forget to send me your address or an address where I can.
Oh, I did.
Oh, did you do that? Okay, I'll find it.
Actually, well, I think I did the other day.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I will let you to the next caller.
Okay. Thank you, Dragon. Appreciate the call.
So, have a good one, sir.
All right. See ya. Okay. I think we have John on the line here next.
Hey,
Hey,
Wokey
John.
Dokey Square. Wokey Dokey Square. What do you think?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Jack
It's
Layton?
pretty accurate.
Jack Layton Square?
Mm.
I was supposed to go down there tonight. I didn't make it. There's a big Ferris wheel down there. The Christmas tree's up. Big party going on. Free stuff. I like going down there. I like the injection sites. They have street preachers down there. They got people begging for money. They got the community housing banging drums. There's one guy banging the drum on community housing. They got random crazy people down there. They got people sleeping on the street with sleeping bags. The place is a toilet. I like I like toilets. It's a toilet down there. You should clean it up.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leo likes that place.
It's a colorful place.
Shit.
It is that.
Well, I go down there quite often. They got a lot of free shows down there. They got a lot. It's a good place to gather. I like it because it's right on the subway. You get off Dundas there, and you're right there, and then you just jump on the subway, and you're back home again.
Yeah.
Because I don't like driving downtown. I very rare drive down there, but
Yeah, I don't like driving down there
Yeah.
either. Hate the traffic.
I don't give a shit. It's what do you want from Chow? She's dog Chow. She's an idiot. Idiot. She got no money, but she got money for that all of a sudden, eh?
Yep.
I hope everybody cuts her off and don't give her the rest of the money that she is asking for. She's got money to throw away on that. I think Doug Ford will rub it in. So you got money to rename a street, but you don't have money to do that? That's, anyways.
Just par for the course in Canada these days.
Those tampons are good in the washrooms. They're a good idea.
Are they?
You ever see those guys walk down in Parliament there? They all got their ass all puckered up, like some juices are going to flow out of it, Oh, it's all tight. They walk around with the real tight ass, because they're trying to hold the juice in. You don't get it, Rick. Yeah.
I dare not comment.
Not nice, but no, don't bother. I told you this before. Trudeau, he's gay. I've said this 2 or 3 times. All I got to say is you can look it up yourself. Seamus. He works for the government. All right. Not Seaman. Seamus. Put the pad on, man. He's got a big package, I heard, though, Rick. I read up on it. I don't know. Who knows? Oh, boy. I'm getting myself in trouble.
Maybe just a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. So,
I'm just not following you down this path because
no, forget about it.
I don't want to step on any landmines. So,
nah, forget about it. It's people are smart enough; they'll figure it out. I lost you here. Where's on this? Oh man,
you lost me.
I don't know, man. I'm losing it here.
Well, I'm right here.
So that's what else was the what's Israel? What's going on there, man? These guys are killing their own people now. You see what happened today? They're shooting their own people.
Yeah.
They got these drones. I guess they're controlled by people. I don't know, but they just fire on any movement. There's a cat walking down the street. The cat's destroyed. You know what I mean? It's like anything that moves, it fires on it. Unbelievable. Yeah, this war's got to end. This guy came over to put in my hot water tank today, at my house, and it was a little late, and I said, I've never seen an Indian person install a furnace or a hot water tank. They usually drive truck, work at accountants jobs, or work at a variety store. He starts laughing at me. I said, same with Jews. He goes, I've never seen a Jew install anything. They're just doctors or lawyers. Oh, my God. So then he says, I'm not Indian. I says, you look Indian? I'm not Indian. He goes, I'm Jewish. I go, you're fucking with me. I don't believe a word you're saying. I said, you're not Jewish. I tell you that right now. And then he admitted he was from Afghanistan. But yeah, he looked Indian to me. You know, I've never seen Indians do any kind of work like that. You know, they don't like to get their hands dirty. But these guys, yeah, he did. He did. He brought the wrong furnace over, the wrong hot water tank over, and he tried to charge me $125 extra. I said, "You nuts? Take it back. Come back next week." No. You got to do it today. I said, "Well, I'm not paying $125 extra for this." Oh, okay. Well, we'll try to resolve this. Okay, you do that. So there you go, Rick.
Wow.
That's my day so far.
Okay.
What else did I do today? Watch TV. I finished my job. I finished it yesterday, so I'm unemployed now. So till the next job comes in, Rick. So hopefully it won't be till the new year because I don't want to work till the new year. But if something comes in, I'll do it.
So you're unemployed till the new year. At least for the moment.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I've got a lot of work, but people are really slow. And then when I get it, I go, missing information, buddy. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. Like this job I just finished. Information. Even the architectural is not even accurate. I go, what the hell am I doing here? You know, so today you got to be lucky I've been doing this a long time, so I know what I'm doing. But anytime you want a new studio there, give me a call. I do all the designs for you.
Okay.
I did the CBC down at Front Street, big building there, CBC. I did that one with company I was working for, not by myself, but you should see the systems they got in there. Eh? It's unbelievable.
What exactly did you do to design the CBC studios? What portion of the work?
Well, I do electrical, so I do all like the fire alarm, lighting. I do all the power, all the equipment hookup, mechanical hookup. I do the design, and then the contractors they bid on it, and then I go to back and do the inspection, make sure everything's installed properly, and make sure it's the code, you know.
Yeah.
So your studio, I would have to, you probably would want to get an interior designer if you want something fancy, you know. And so they do that, and then I come in and do all your hookup, your communication, you know, your
See,
all your
you're
jacks
you're
everywhere.
assuming that we actually have a budget here.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Well,
this ain't the CBC, my friend.
It's not the CBC.
No, it's not. Not even close.
Well, that's the only one I did. It was the CBC down on Front Street. That's the only one I did. With multimedia.
Okay.
But I've done everything, even chicken coops. Oh, a couple of nights ago, I was up at Keswick, and I went to the funny farm there. They got chicken eggs before I went to see somebody, and there's man, they were charging me $7 a dozen for eggs. They're large. I go, why so much? I go, oh well, just give me 1 dozen. They're all right, but they don't. What's the difference between fresh eggs or eggs from? I can get 18 eggs for $5 at No Frills, and they're good eggs. What's the difference? Farm eggs.
Depends on depends on how they keep the chickens and how they feed them, what they feed them. So how healthy the eggs are depends on what they're fed, apparently, which makes sense. So I don't know beyond that.
Yeah.
You know, if you get those omega-3 eggs, they're better for you, I guess, because they feed them different stuff.
I don't know. I don't like omega-3 eggs.
No?
I tried them. Yeah, I don't really like them too much. I prefer the regular eggs, but I can't. I lost your channel here, man. I can't get back into it. I don't know what the hell is going on with me today.
I don't know either.
I'm going to throw this iPad right to the wall there. Screw this crap. Yeah. So, but anyways, I went to check out the ice fishing there. They got the huts there, right where the huts are. And,
ice fishing? Where are you ice fishing? It's not cold enough for ice fishing, is it?
Lake Simcoe. I know, but because you can start booking for huts and stuff.
Oh, you can start booking. Okay.
I don't ice fish though. I know Paul does. PDS, he's an ice fisher.
Yeah.
But I want to try it one day. So, but yeah, I went to visit somebody anyways. But
you've never been ice fishing? You've never gone out?
No, on a skidoo. I was on the lake with skidoos, jumping off the docks and everything. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't go through the ice.
Yeah.
I like skidoos on the lake. But these huts, they're all insulated and they're warm in there, and you know. But you ever been ice fishing?
I've been out ice fishing, but I've never actually done the fishing. I used to go a couple of times every winter to go out and do stories for the television stations. So I would go out with people who were ice fishing, but I'd shoot videos. I've been out there many times, out on Mitchell's Bay, which is there's some great perch fishing out there.
I like perch.
Yeah, so that's what people catch mostly out there, and it's a great place to go fishing. And there are other kinds of fish you can catch
Yeah,
out
you
there
get
too,
back on.
bass, stuff. So, but it's not my favorite thing to do. It's too cold. I don't like the winter. But
You don't like the winter.
I don't like winter.
I like winter.
Summer. I don't. Cold will kill you. Cold will kill you.
How is it going to kill you?
Well, if you're out there too long,
Cold.
you're eventually going to freeze to death. That is Mother Nature saying, "I'm trying to kill you." When it's
Too much
that
sun
cold,
will kill you.
I can always
Too
find
much
some
sun will
shade.
kill you, Rick.
Well, that's what they say, but I'll take my
The
chances on the
sun.
heat rather than the frostbitten cold, the dead of winter.
If you put
It's
meat in the
deadly.
freezer, it'll last longer, right?
Not if it's alive; it'll come out dead.
Yeah, if it's alive.
It preserves the death,
Uh,
not the life. No, I don't like the winter. No.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but
And I figure,
anyhow,
like I'd rather go sit in a boat in the middle of the summer and cast a line, put my feet up, and sip
I
on a
don't like
soft
boats.
drink. And
I always feel like
wait
I'm
for
gonna
something to
fall
bite.
in.
Oh yeah.
I like big boats, but I won't look at the edge, look down. It's like I gotta, I like just sit inside or at around the sides, But I don't like planes. I've done a lot of flying, but I don't like planes either. They scare the crap out of me, especially when you hit turbulence. It's don't like planes. I don't like boats. I like cars. I like bikes. I like to be on the ground there, Rick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I went to get some Chinese food at the bar today.
Oh yeah.
Girl walks in with a nice winter coat, eh? She goes, "Hey, you want to buy this?" I said. She goes, "It's $280." I go, give me $60. You can have it. I said, "Hey, that's a nice boat." It was a name. Let me try it on. I put it on and I go. She goes, "It fits." I said, "No, it doesn't." I said, "I like them big. I don't like them tight like this." No, it fits. I said, "No, sell it to somebody else." She goes, "Okay, I'll go get a double X for you." I said, "I'm leaving now. Another time." I said, "Listen," I said, "do me a favor. Get off that shit. I want to see you alive. I don't want to see you dead. You're going to end up in the ground. Get off that crack." I said, "How much is an 8-ball these days?" He goes, "Oh, you get a quarter ounce for $300." He said. Oh my God. She goes, "You need shoes? What do you need? You need shoes? You need sweaters? What do you want? I get it for you. Whatever you want, I get it for you." She really likes me. I always buy her beers, eh? But oh my God. But she's not allowed in the bar, eh? Because she was caught breaking in there at night, and the cameras caught her. She was stealing booze, bottles of booze to sell. So she's not, but she still hangs out outside selling her goods. Unbelievable.
Well,
I tell you, Rick, and that's not the only. That's not the other. A couple of days ago, there was someone selling this hand lotion, $24 a bottle, $5. $5. I said, "I'll take 4 or 5." I give them away to the women there. They like that shit. I don't like it. Another guy came in there with designer underwear, nice ones, $24. I think it was $24. $28 label on it. I didn't get any of those. And then the 2 guys came in with 2 bags each full of meat from the grocery store. They just walked out with the meat, I guess. All right, Rick, I don't know. Today, it's going to get worse, the theft. It's going to get worse,
Yeah.
But,
well,
I don't know, but.
These are sad stories you're telling me here tonight, John. Again, I just it saddens me to hear about these
Yeah.
people in these dire straits, and of course, I don't like hearing about the crime either. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I was down at Dundas Square, and there was a drunk, and he says he had 2 big bottles of Jackson wine, red wine.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Want to buy a bottle? Want to buy a bottle?" He just steals them from the liquor store right there. I said, "How much?" He goes, "Give me $10. You can have it. I go, "I'll take both of them for 20. How's that?" Okay. They were the big Magnum ones, eh? I still got one here. It's been, how long it's been. It's probably, I don't know if it goes bad, but I still have one here. Maybe I should open it up soon. I went to the liquor store yesterday and bought $600 with the liquor, and I got a lot of those cards, those gift cards. I said, "Give me 10 $50 gift cards," and then I bought I bought some champagne for the. I said, "You might as well buy it now before it sells out." New Year's, and I like Jameson. That was on sale, so I bought 3 bottles of Jameson, and Bailey's, big Magnum of Bailey. I like that Sunday morning coffee, Christmas morning with coffee, and what else did I bought? Yeah, I'm all stocked up there, Rick. All stocked up. When you're self-employed, you can write it off for business, right? Like a lot of those gift cards, I'm going to send them out to clients, So it's a write-off.
'Tis the season.
You gotta, you know how it works. You gotta have, if you make the money, you gotta find ways to write it off.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, your shirts.
Mm.
Did you get any 2X? Any 2X?
No. Don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I need 2.
You need 2.
I want the Maverick one though. Maverick.
I might have those.
Maverick 2X. I want 2 of them if you have them, but they got to be 2X.
Okay.
People aren't buying them for it. They're not small. They're gonna need a couple
double extra
size
large,
bigger.
Okay. I'll check.
I'll check. Double 2X. They're called 2X.
Got it.
2X. 2X. If you got them, let me know and send me a text message or an email or something, and I'll grab them off you.
Okay.
So, if you got them, if you don't have them yet, I can wait.
Yeah, we'll get some made if we don't have them.
Yeah, but not. Right. I want the Maverick one, like the one you're wearing right now.
Oh, you want like with the embroidery? This is embroidered, eh? This is like a button-up
Yeah, but that's like a golf. Is that like a golf shirt?
It's like a casual type of shirt. Yeah, it's casual.
Stand up or what? Walk around. Model it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I prefer T-shirts. I'm a T-shirt guy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's got buttons. See, buttons.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
These things will wear. Like I love these shirts. I started buying them as shirts for my SST car show years ago. They just wear and wear and wear. They're like a work shirt, right?
Oh yeah, that's good.
They just the other ones I've had for years, and they just don't wear out. They just do not. They're built. They wear like a pig's nose. So yeah, I love them, and they're comfortable.
I like black, anyways.
Well, we've got
black T-shirt. Okay. If you got one of those, also in double X, I'll take it for myself. But yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll get you set up.
See what happens there. Yeah, but I like the 2 T-shirts, double X if you can, and I won't get no complaints if it's too small or too big. It's better big than small, Rick.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, Okay. You got other callers there?
No, but we're going to wrap it up for the
Thanks
night a little early because I've got to go walk my dog. I haven't paid enough attention to him tonight, and I've been so busy doing other things that we are going to wrap up just a little early tonight. So that's okay. I appreciate you calling, John, as always.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you again.
It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Take
Bye.
care, sir. All right. And with that, we will call it a night. And thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the program this evening. A privilege as always. And yeah, I will just remind you, if you want a shirt, 30 for the t-shirt, 35 donation or more for the long sleeve tees, and 45 or more for the donate 45 or more, and I will send you a sweatshirt. Knights of Malta in stock, ready to rock and roll. And you can do that at freedomreporters.com. And I will do my very best to be back here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you all spending the evening here again. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard tomorrow on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.